Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of What If the World Reset. It has been a pretty long time since I've last done one of these episodes. So before I start, be sure to subscribe and basically everything else as well. Um Now we are going to be looking at a multitude of things. But first we are going to be looking at the two Indian nations over here. So I think I had established that these are both dictatorships, and they are going to be deciding to go to war with each other as dictatorships do. So the light blue country, thinking it has an upper hand, which, I mean, looking at the size, I'm pretty sure it doesn't, will start their invasion into this country. So it would go like okay. They managed to make some small incursions until this green country, or yellow even, will retaliate by making their own incursion over here. They are also going to beat back over here, um, like so, and also take out these areas. Now, both of them want each other dead, but they kind of are at a stalemate, so they decide to end this war, but they're on negative terms. So this guy gets their land back, and this country gets these lands back. So that was kind of like a pointless war, but it just shows how power hungry and greedy those two countries are, and possibly even a threat to the purple team. Now, heading over to here, we are going to be seeing Italy expand once again, where they are going to be expanding over here, maneuvering around the Swiss Alps, and establishing a sort of border with with these kind of tribe nations. Now Italy is also going to get into a conflict with this green one and just annex this piece of land. Um and it annoys these guys like a lot, but they can't really do much about it, so that's kind of like an L for them. The Cornwall country is also going to expand over here, taking over these areas, and goes it goes up more northernly over here. Another expansion that we are going to be seeing is the Azerbaijan. No, Azerbaijan's on the other side. Turkmenistan country to kind of expand over here and just take over this area, and they find that the Aral Sea is much a nicer place to live in than the Caspian Sea, so they might migrate over here. Um, Now looking over here into the escaped Indian country, they have a pretty great they're pretty good, like, navally, so they managed to get all of these territories before realizing that they're, like, really, really far and farther than they had expected. And finally, we are going to be seeing this mess of a country. Some more areas are going to collapse, such as this one, and this one. And they are going to be kind of creating new land down south, going over here to the kind of like Rockies, I think they're called. I don't ask me, I'm not an expert on American geography. And ditch these cities to be on their own. One turns into this brown nation, and the other turns into this gold nation. It's probably going to like collapse really soon, but that doesn't matter too much because we are going to be seeing a huge war in China. Now, the Chinese over here have been expanding. They've been expanding a lot, and it's just, and in China's own words, it is simply not on. Like, they can't have a rival that is this good to their south and one that also doesn't like them. Plus, they also just think that they look bad, and yeah, they just want to attack. So they do. They march their troops in, and they send more and more forces down to invade. They connect up with their exclave over here, which you can barely see because it's so small. And they also take more of these lands. Now, the South China country is kind of in a major issue because there's a lot of regions that are asking for independence. Namely, there are there's this country which is going to pop up over here. So, like this. And they basically want to form their own kind of like Chinese, central Chinese nation. And they don't like the main government. The main government is more coastal friendly, while these guys aren't. And something similar to that is going to pop up over here, even taking a couple of these major cities. And they are going to claim all of this area, saying that they also feel a bit disrespected by the South Chinese government. Now this is going to be a big problem for South China. The normal Chinese troops march in further and further, and they slowly but surely start to take more land until they reach upon the capital. Of course, before they do so, they also take these major cities and connect up with the rebellion. Now, the Chinese don't like are on pretty negative terms with the rebellion, so much so that they'll begin their own invasion of the rebellion, but they don't plan on going far since their main focus is to take out the nicer regions of South China. We are going to see uh, Teal China start invading over here, taking a whole lot of land, and also just barging through. And they're working as a team with Aquamarine China, who is going to be expanding into the more inland areas since It's meant to be like an inland country instead of a coastal country. But they do take this bit of the country and they also decide to take this area. Now, at this point, the Chinese are advancing too far in. They besiege the capital and they take it. So, South China then proceeds to surrender over to North China, main China. And we are going to look at this new divided China peace treaty. Starting on 3, 2, 1. So, as shown in this peace treaty, we can see that South China looks like an absolute abomination. And you might be asking, why? Why did I do this? Could I not have done anything better? And I thought, yeah, I could have done better. But it's fun to do weird borders. Now, something interesting is that this country did actually end up getting sea access, but only because they thought they were worried in case they might need to trade with Vietnam. And let's see, I have forgotten to place the capitals. So one here in the city that I placed earlier while making the peace treaty, and then another over here right on the border. Nothing can go wrong with that. Like, literally, nothing. And straying away from China, we are going to be seeing some more Greek expansion. Now, since the Greeks are smart and not dumb, they are going to be attacking the weakest country that they know of, that are close to them. But it's not the blue team that they plan on attacking. No, no, no. They will never. They're attacking the brown team. See, what happened is, what's happening is basically along the lines of this. And then this. And they basically just take the brown team. Like, at this point of time, the brown team is seriously weak. And Greece just wanted to profit off of that. So they are going to give this land back to these guys, the guys that are these, and they are just going to annex this. Now, this is a really, really weird thing to have. Like, why would you have an exclave that doesn't even border the ocean? That's just dumb. But that's kind of like their problem. Plus, they don't claim it, but they kind of own this corridor over here. No, I'm not trying to erase anything. But basically, they kind of own this corridor. But, like, they're not claiming it, so. And that is probably going to be it for this video. Let's do some more expansions, such as Poland expanding into Denmark. Now, the reason for this expansion is that they think Denmark is pretty valuable. Not the, like, mainland, but the area around it they like. And they also are going to explore into Sweden and take over those areas as well. And they're kind of forming their own Baltic Empire. They don't really have competitors because there's no other country in the Baltics. But yeah, this is probably going to be it for this video. taking a trip to Victoria. There's nothing happened there. And I can see France expanding, but they're not going to do that today. And that's going to be it, other than South India setting out an expedition and taking over the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Now, yeah, it's not great to do this, but they just want to get some free land, and instead of doing the smart decision of going west, where it would simply make more sense, they decided to go east. Again, that is going to be it for this video, so if you made it this far, make sure to like, subscribe, and do basically anything else, as long as it's not like commenting negative things like I hate you, or you're bad, or um your map drawing skills suck, which is extremely rude because I cannot see anything wrong with this. So yeah, that's it. Bye.